This episode of the Dog Training Revolution is crowdfunded by you and sponsored by Midwest Homes for Pets, because life goes better with pets.
You might remember Lafitte from a video we did earlier this year on puppy biting. Well, the good news is Lafitte is over the puppy biting stage and he's doing great. However, he has developed this habit of destroying the walls inside the house. If your dog digs, chews, or scratches, I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do in today's video. As a matter of fact, some of the advice I'm gonna give you today will even apply if your dog is an excessive jumper or pulls you down the street on a walk. If you like videos like this and you wanna see more of them, click thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed so you see all of my future videos, and I'll tell you everything I know about dog training. Now, this is possible in part because of our patrons on patreon.com/ZachGeorge. I'll have the details in the description below. Unfortunately, a massive number of dogs are surrendered to pounds and shelters because of the issues that relate to destruction. So few people realize the relatively simple steps you need to take to completely resolve this. Share this video with your friends and family on Facebook and Twitter and your other social networks. Now let's go meet Lafitte and his family. What happened to Lafitte? You could fit 25 of the old Lafittes into this one. He's massive now.
Just keeps eating, he won't stop.
What issues are you having specifically with him?
He is scratching or chewing the drywall.
Does this behavior of him digging at the wall and other destructive behavior, does that typically happen when you're at home or when you're at work?
Typically when I'm at work or out with friends or something is when he does it. I've only maybe caught him once looking at it when I was at home, but he wasn't actually digging at the wall then. I've never caught him in the act of doing it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and that makes it really tough, doesn't it? I think we've ruled out any type of severe separation anxiety as being the reason for this. If you guys at home need help with separation anxiety, I'll have a link in the description that will help you. I think a lot of us make a genuine attempt to address these issues at what we think the source is. For example, when a dog chews the baseboards, you can get a bitter spray and spray it on there so it tastes bad when they chew it. Or in the case of pulling on a leash, it's common to think that when our dog starts pulling, that's where the problem is starting. So a lot of people will get a special collar, like an e-collar or a choke chain, to discourage the pulling.
The flaw with addressing jumping, digging, leash pulling, chewing, or other behavior when you see it occur is that you're addressing the symptom, not the cause. The source of these issues originates before all of this starts happening.
It's really common to misdiagnose the source of why our dogs behave this way. If our dog is jumping, chewing, digging, or anything like that, it's most often a sign that they're not getting the appropriate mental and physical outlet that they need.
Many people think they already know this, but greatly underestimate the amount of mental and physical stimulation their dog needs.
Which is why you're taking him on long walks, which is why you let him play with other dogs. But I would say that if your dog is a 7 or above on the energy scale, you got to do a little bit more than that. The best, most efficient way to get a dog tired and satisfied where they don't feel like they need to chew is to teach them a very fluid, a very polished game of fetch.
Okay.
That's what I hope to do today.
While we let Lafitte get adjusted to the outdoor environment and the fact that new people are at his house, let me show you the coolest travel carrier on the market from Midwest Homes for Pets.
So we all need to travel with our dogs from time to time, whether it's on an airplane or in a car. One of the things I really appreciate about their products, Midwest Homes for Pets, is that they, of course, take your dog's safety and security into account as their #1 priority, but their products are so easy to use for the person, too. This handle is a great example of that. So obviously you can use the handle to push it around or pull it very easily, so that's very convenient. But you can also lock the handle into place like this, and when you need to pick up the crate, look at that. Just like that, so you don't have to like hug the thing to move it around. It's really easy to transport. You have these really convenient storage compartments right here, so you can put your supplies, any documentation you need while traveling, your leash, your treats, all sorts of things. And there's not just one of them, but there's 2 of them. The optional caster wheels make it very convenient to push your dog with ease without having to locate a special cart. Midwest Homes for Pets doesn't just make crates and travel carriers, but they also make bedding and accessories. I'll have a link in the description that will show you all sorts of stuff about them, and you should check it out. Support our sponsors as well. I think Lafitte's ready to get into some fetch training now. If you have a dog that's a little bit interested in fetch, but you're having breakdown on letting go, or them not bringing it back, or playing inside but not outside, or running all over the place when you start to play, understand that that is completely normal. Even the best fetchers in the world all do that in the beginning. Let me put this into human terms for you. If you've ever played a video game, you'll know that they're not immediately easy. In fact, they take a little bit of practice, and sometimes they're frustrating. But as you continue to play them, you start to enjoy them a little bit more, and before you know it, you're hooked. For your dog, fetch is like learning a new game, and they get more and more interested over time. It's our job to keep the game interesting and to keep it fun and remain enthusiastic to show them how fun this game really is. Today, I'm gonna start at the very beginning of how to teach your dog a really nice game of fetch so that you can begin to resolve almost all of the unwanted behaviors you're currently dealing with. The two raw ingredients to teaching your dog how to play a good game of fetch are chase and tug of war. I'd say we got tug of war pretty solid here. Do not use treats when teaching fetch.
Dogs use their mouths for two main things, eating and grabbing stuff. Therefore, from a training perspective, they are either in food mode or play mode. The two are not simultaneously compatible for most dogs, though. The reward is continued play with the toy, not food. We're trying to bring the energy to the surface so that we can direct it in a manageable way.
Even a lot of dog trainers make that mistake. Now, you could use treats to teach your dog to go and retrieve something, but that's different from a proper fetch. The way to start teaching your dog fetch is not to throw the item, it's to get them interested in the toy first. You actually teach fetch in reverse. So here, we're gonna just get them really interested in it, just like this. And I'm okay with him tugging right now, but we have to teach him how to let go.
In a nutshell, teaching fetch to your dog starts with teaching a good tug of war and a good let go.
Most of you at home can actually expect results on this in the first training session, maybe two.
So how do you get your dog to let go of a toy? By using some very basic reverse psychology.
I'm gonna make life uninteresting right now by stopping pulling. See, dogs like it when we pull back. That's very gratifying to them. We're just gonna hold it right here, we're gonna wait, and when he lets go, I'm gonna immediately give him the rope toy right back.
Because remember, the toy is the reward.
Let your dog know just because you let go doesn't mean I'm gonna keep it forever. All our dogs really wanna know is, hey, can I have it back? Show them there is a very clear path to play tug of war all day long if they play by the rules. Just make the game uninteresting for a minute. If you have to sit here for 5 minutes, so what? Your attitude is, look, I got all day long.
If your dog gets a little rambunctious during this part, be patient and maintain a cool head. If you have a really amped up dog, a long walk before fetch training might be just enough to make them manageable for teaching them to let go.
Yes, good. Tiny microsecond that he let go. Even though he went to bite it again, I want to let him know that that little bit of progress right there is very appreciated by me. Avoid, when they let go, pulling it away, putting it behind your back, asking them to sit, and adding all this other criteria. You want to make sure that you really just focus on, hey, I like that you did that. Let's start there. I'm really satisfied that he's starting to get the concept, so I'm going to ask him to leave it alone for an extra second or two this time. No. Leave it alone. No. And again, I just created a bit of a barrier there just so he could think and resist that impulse. Yes, good, very good. I'm going to attempt to stand up and keep the toy right in front of him. Yes, good boy. That's what I'm talking about. So once your dog has tug and release kind of down, it's time to go on to the next step.
And that would be throwing the toy, but keep those first several throws short. It's better to get lots of reps at first so that your dog becomes familiar with the structure and the process of the game. If you're right there to encourage your dog to chase you back to the point of origin, this will discourage your dog from playing keep away. Dogs love to chase, but they don't really care who's chasing who. Make them chase you.
Now shorten the distance between you and your dog, right? And then when Lafitte does it, we're gonna go back. See, the closer we are to our dogs, the more likely they are to chase us, so we don't wanna just stay put. We wanna make it a real interactive game. So if you shorten the distance after the throw as they're on their way to it, you're right there to kind of lure them back with your eyes and encourage them to chase you. Does that make sense? Fun is the #1 priority when teaching fetch.
All right, so what do you do if your dog just loses interest in the toy while you're trying to play?
This happens a lot. When a toy stops moving, dogs get less interested. Watch this. I'm gonna, Lafitte, what's this? Look at that, what's that? I'm bringing it back to life, but just a little bit there. Good, good, did you see that? So if you can bring a little bit of life to the toy like that, it'll reignite their interest in it.
Then there's the classic instance of your dog getting distracted during fetch training. This requires immediate and prompt action on your part.
We have to go bring the toy to life and then run. There we go. Just like that. And so the priority there is getting them to bring it back, not let go immediately. It's normal for dogs to be really interested in one toy at first, or maybe a couple, but as time goes on, you'll probably see that they'll start to generalize the game with all sorts of toys, sticks, you name it. And rather than take the stick away, make the other toy more exciting. See that? And just move it around a little bit. Avoid picking it up completely. Just move it around, see if you can ignite his interest in that toy instead of the stick, and then run. That's what I'm talking about. You are a pro, sir. So if your dog chases the toy, but then doesn't pick it up and bring it back, that's how you handle it. The ideal way to get your dog to bring something back to you is to run from them, but not everybody can do that. So if you can't do that, the next best thing to do is to have your dog on a really long lead, kind of encourage them to come back to you. That'll take a little bit longer, but you'll still get there. If you notice that your dog is all about fetch inside, but then you come in the backyard and they're like, no, I don't care about fetch anymore, I just want to smell around, understand that changing your dog's surroundings or environment on something they're used to doing in one place but not another is the biggest thing you can do to throw them off. Now, it can take a few minutes for them to acclimate because you've got to get them time to sniff around, or it can take a much longer period of time. You just have to feel your dog out. If your dog will chase the ball or toy 3 or 4 times in a row and then they get bored, that's also very normal. There are 2 major options you have here. You can give them a 5 to 20 minute break, let them recharge a little bit, or you can get more interesting. This involves getting really crazy, jumping around, dancing. Dogs are really drawn to a super happy, exciting person. It's normal for this to take between 1 and 10 weeks to teach your dog a really good game of fetch. It just varies from dog to dog, depending on a variety of factors. What time of day should you play fetch if your dog is destroying your property? First thing in the morning. Get up 15 or 20 minutes earlier than you normally do. Get out there in the yard, play with them, or drive to a nearby park. This is part of having a dog, and this is the maintenance that they require in order to be completely satisfied. Oh man, that was a workout. Tell me if you ever experienced destructive behavior with your dog in the comments below, and what did you do to resolve it? You guys have done really awesome with him.
Thank you.
Don't forget to click thumbs up on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to see all of our future videos. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/TheZachGeorge. Consider being a patron on our Patreon campaign. I'll have all the details in the description. And of course, support our sponsor, Midwest Homes for Pets. I'll have a link in the description that will tell you everything. Good job, buddy. I'm proud of you. Work, man. Really
thank
good.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I loved working with Lafitte. He did really well. Sometimes destructive behavior is the result of separation anxiety. See my video on that topic if you think your dog might have separation anxiety. Do you need help with unwanted jumping? Check out everything you need to know to stop jumping, and that lesson will get you exactly where you need to be. If you have a puppy biter or you're new to teaching your dog, make sure you don't make these 5 common mistakes. And finally, if you're in the mood to teach some tricks, here are 3 tricks you can teach in one day. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I really appreciate you subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.